Sake of warm weather climate against a cold weather climate, I'll go with Denver in this particular case. But I look at it as a 17-14 win.
Okay.
I don't like when teams, especially once you get later in the season here, play against colder teams. So, all right, we'll go Denver for the sake of being different than you. Sunday night game should figure, I don't know, does New England's offense show up against the Houston Texans? I guarantee the weather will be a whole lot nicer inside of Houston indoors.
Well, even if the offense doesn't show up, their defense should do a good job of stopping up Houston. Um, this will be the first, in my opinion, first real test. Outside of the Baltimore Ravens, the first real test for this New England defense, going up against a Houston team. Now, what makes things a little bit different is that Deshaun Watson doesn't have the offensive line that Lamar Jackson does. So Tom Brady, I think, should provide low-end quarterback one numbers against this Houston defense that has really been bleeding points to wide receivers and to quarterbacks. So in terms of the running backs, White and Michelle, I think both are flex numbers, are flex guys, and not much, it's hard to trust anything more than that. Julian Edelman is the only wide receiver you can really trust in this offense. Everyone else is a deep flex play that you hope will, provide a little bit of a pop in deeper leagues. And they really don't have a tight end really to use. So as far as Houston goes, Watson could struggle. You expect him to put up quarterback one numbers. You hope that he doesn't, put up a goose egg. So I don't like any of the running back options for Houston simply because of New England's defense. And as far as the wide receivers go, Hopkins, you can't not start him. Fuller, he is a flex play in 12-team leagues and larger, and that's about it. That's about all I can really trust from the Houston offense. So I think that this it may become a little bit of a burn, but I think that New England overall does actually pull this one out. And so I'm going to say New England wins this one 28-27.
And I'll go with the Patriots with 31-19. Well, if I'm wrong in that, DeAndre Hopkins does have pretty good numbers. I mean, the help I can get this weekend. And, of course, the Monday night game, Minnesota against Seattle.
All right, finally my game in my home backyard.
Well, they're on Monday night, so we have to save them for last, but go ahead.
Yep. All right, so here we go. As far as Minnesota goes, it looks like Adam Thielen is going to be back, as far as we can tell, which will help provide some value for Kirk Cousins, though he's performed overall pretty well this season. Take out the first 2 to 3 weeks. The Cousins should be in for a great game, or should be in for an okay game. The Seattle defense has really been playing so well the last few weeks, so it could turn into a little bit of tough sledding for Cousins. Cook, you are going to start him. He's the number 2 running back in fantasy. You're not going to sit him, even in a tough matchup against Seattle's defense. Stephon Diggs, I think, could provide some value, especially if he's the one going up against Trey Flowers. Trey Flowers has kind of struggled for the most part this year. Had a couple of good games recently, but the value of Diggs and Thielen have been pretty good when they're playing together. And the tight ends are hard to trust. However, Seattle has been bleeding points to tight ends. I want to say they've given up the 8th most amount of fantasy points to tight ends. So Rudolph is the guy that I would trust in terms of the tight ends there. For the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, you're going to start him. There seems to be a little bit of a running back controversy with the couple of fumbles that Carson had last week and how well that Rashad Penny played. For now, I think they're probably about even, kind of that running back 3 flex play, and hope that one of them pops. I think that Lockett should be fully healthy and back against a Minnesota secondary that has struggled all season. DK Metcalf, I think, is flex-worthy this week. And I've seen a lot of people on Yahoo have dropped Jacob Hollister. I think that Hollister comes back and has a decent game. The only thing that stopped Hollister is that the Seahawks last week got into I guess what you could say, got enough of a lead that they really didn't worry about passing it all that much. And what really took down his value is that he should have scored a touchdown, but Russell Wilson missed him from 5 yards out and completely overthrew him. Otherwise, he would have finished, instead of with 4 points, would have finished with 11. So I think that Hollister should still provide possible tight end one numbers this week. So I'm going to be a little bit of a homer, and I'm going to say that Seattle wins this one. Kirk Cousins struggles not only in prime time but also against teams with winning records. And so with how well Seattle's been playing, I'm going to go Seattle wins this one in a tight game, 24-21.
Is it going to rain there?
As of right now, no, it's supposed to be sunny.
All right, well,
but cold.
Well, I say it gets dreary for the Vikings, and I give the Seahawks a 33-21 win. They're dangerous. And I definitely tell you, if you have Russell Wilson as a fantasy option, he's a good one. So, but meanwhile, that should do it for this week's edition of Fantasy Football with Scott Morganroth and Ryan Skolrud. We hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and Ryan and I will be back on the air for the Sports Exchange next week. So, on behalf of Ryan Skolrud, my name is Scott Morganroth. Any final thoughts, Ryan Skolrud?
No, that's it for me.
All right, enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family, and we will be back and do it again next week. Have a great football week, everybody.